Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Catalina and I'm the person behind by Catalina Designs, and today we have another weekly journal. I'm pretty excited about this video and about how this week went. I had some ideas during the week, which was amazing because I think I have something interesting for you. But in this video, I will show you, as usual, the progress of my projects. I will give you some project updates and what was my main thing to do this week. Because I finished with the white blouse, it was perfectly fine with the stain, and I started to work on the pattern, and this was what I was working on basically this week. But besides that, I had an amazing idea, and in the second part of the video we will talk about crochet charts. Have you ever wondered that if you will learn, or if you will understand the crochet chart, it will make the process of crocheting easier, and even it will help to understand the written pattern, because crochet charts are using an universal language. So those symbols that you see there are universal. Everyone's, if they make a crochet chart, or if they do a crochet chart, they will use the same symbols, the same things. And if you learn that, to read a crochet chart, it will be easier for you to understand and to recreate a pattern, or to use a stitch pattern to create your own designs, or to make something that you want with that specific stitch pattern. So in the second part of the video, I will give you a few tips on how to read crochet charts, which are the main common symbols, and of course I will practically follow a crochet chart, teaching you how to read it. We will follow a crochet chart and crochet a sample. So I hope you'll find this video interesting, and keep watching. If this topic is something for you, please let me know in the comments if you have any other questions related with the crochet charts. I will try to answer those and in future videos. And yeah, let's get started. Today is Tuesday. Yesterday I didn't manage to film anything because the weekend was pretty busy. Saturday we had some friends over, we had a barbecue, we played ping pong, and it was quite a relaxing day. And Sunday we had again tennis competition with my daughter, so we were away. And after that we had just a lazy Sunday, and because of that, yesterday I was doing the grocery shoppings, cooking, and some other things. Then my daughter came back from school, we had some homework, then I played with her, and yeah, didn't have time to film anything. I'm wearing today the blouse that I finished with the Arcane Fiber Works. I still have to weave in all the ends, and thank you so much for all the tips that you gave me for the coffee stain. This white version is blocked and dried, and this is how it's looking, and the coffee stain is not that visible anymore. So because I know that it's there, I kind of still see it, but I think it helped in the end. So this is how beautiful is looking, this one. I didn't want to wear this one, although it's blocked and ready, because I'm afraid not to do another mistake again. So before taking photos and everything, I don't want to mess up something else. So today I started the day really in the mood to finish a lot of stuff, and now it's about lunchtime, and I managed to finish and grade the pattern for the blouse. So now I started already to start to write the pattern and put everything, but because I don't have yet the photos, I do need some things to put there, like photos and some other stuff. And I managed to translate My Precious Sweater into Romanian, and now the pattern, the written pattern, is out there on my website. So I did a lot of things today, and I'm so happy that I managed to do that. And because in the morning I had some issue with my website and I was waiting for my husband to fix them, and I started to work a square with the raffia paper yarn that I showed you I don't know, a couple of weeks back. So this is one square that I made, and I'm planning to make the bag using these squares. The recommended crochet hook size was 6mm, or is 6mm on the yarn, but I was afraid to use 6mm because I didn't know how this paper raffia yarn will react. I told you that is the first time that I'm using it, so I used a 5mm crochet hook. But I find it really difficult to work with a 5mm crochet hook, so maybe I will try a different another square to see the size and so on. I think here I can work less chains into the corners, but this is the square. And I have a canvas bag which I bought last year, and I bought last year thinking that I will use them as linen for a bag. So this is a canvas bag. I don't exactly remember from where I bought it, and I think it has a proper size for a beach bag. So now I'm planning to crochet the squares and to match this size and of the bag, because I want to use it as a linen. I don't know if I will use the stripes as well. Maybe I will buy some nice leather stripes to use it, but I think it's a great idea if you're not good at sewing, or you don't have a sewing machine and you want to make a linen for your crocheted bags. I think these canvas bags are pretty nice. You can find them in different sizes. By the end of this video I will try to find the links, because I think I bought them from Amazon, and to put them in the description below. So now this is the idea with this bag, to wear the squares. I measured and it will match like 3 squares in width, and I will use only 2 squares in length, and maybe then trying to add some a few rows here to complete the length. And as a base I will need to use a base as well, because this is how the shape of this canvas it is. So it has this rectangle over here as a base. So I don't know for sure, but now this is the idea that I want to proceed further with it. I do need to try a 6mm crochet hook with this raffia paper yarn, because with 5mm crochet hook I find it really difficult. I don't know, it was the first time. Maybe if I will practice a bit more it will get better. And yeah, I think it's cute. It's cute. And yeah, Last week, in the last weekly journal, at the end of the video, while I was waiting my daughter to finish her dancing class, I was showing you a progress of the shirt, because let me bring my friend over here and see if I can show it to you like this. So the progress of a shirt, back then it was just up to here. I did this, I don't know how it's called, at the back to act like the regular shirts, you know, that they have these things on the back. And I also want to shape the back into oval hem. So now this is the progress. I measured and I think I have 10 more rows to work for the length, and then I can start to shape it. And yeah, and because I have these four cakes of yarn from Hobby, the friend's wheel, I do want to work it in color blocks. I will use this darker gray for edging, for all the details, and the rest of the other three colors I used white. This is a lighter gray, and I have even another lighter gray, which is the third color, and I will try to see how I will put them on the sleeves and on the front panels. So now that I finish with mostly the back is not I need to just see with the shaping at the bottom to see how it works, and then I can start to work on the black dress again, because I will use the same structure, the same construction of this one. But for the dress I won't do this, because anyways it will be like a dress and then it will start with the skirt, so I don't think it will be needed, but I just wanted to try this detail as well. So yeah, these are the things that I was working on so far, a lot of them. I can wait to see what else I can share with you this week and how this week will be. Tomorrow I want to finish writing the pattern for the blouse, and I will have the video tutorial to edit as well, and then this pattern can be released. I'm planning to release this pattern late next week. Wish me luck, and see you later, tomorrow or later in this week. Yesterday I was working only on the pattern, so no progress on nothing, because I really want to finish this. The coffee stain is not that visible anymore, and I do love this blouse. It's really pretty, and I'm happy that I'm sharing soon the pattern and the video tutorial with you. I decided, and hopefully everything will go well, I decided to write the pattern for the anatomical neckline that we had in one of the videos. I was showing you how I work this neckline, but also with the other version with the simple round. I was thinking to keep only one of the version, but then I was thinking, okay, maybe people will want to make the anatomical neckline, and then maybe other people will find it difficult to understand in the pattern, and maybe they want to go in only with the circle, with the round. So yeah, I decided to write them both, which will take me a while. And yeah, I'm really happy with everything, and even if I will not have time to crochet or to do some other things, I do hope that I will finish with this pattern. Because this week I was posting a video with a crochet chart for the fern top. And wasn't just like that. It was, you know, that I want to make the fern top but with a jumpsuit jumpsuit, no jumpsuit, how it's called, whatever. I don't remember right now. And I do want to talk with you today about crochet charts, because every time I want to make something, or even if I want to look or follow one of my patterns, the first thing I'm looking at, because I cannot remember all the stitch patterns by heart, so the first thing I'm looking at is the crochet chart. And from my very first beginnings, I first learned to read the crochet chart, and it was the only thing that I was following, so not a pattern. So I do think it can help you a lot with inspiration, because if you're looking over the internet, and especially Pinterest, it's full of crochet charts, and not always is with a link to something, to a pattern or to a video tutorial or something. It's just the photo with the crochet chart. And if you think that that will be a nice stitch pattern that you will want to use for your next project, I think it's a great idea to start learning. If you're, maybe you already know, to read crochet chart. So I hope you'll find this useful. If you're not familiar with crochet charts, this video is for you. If you are familiar, maybe you'll find some new things, I don't know, that you can use in your next project. So let me show you a few crochet charts and what we can do with them, what it's all about, and so on. Okay, so crochet charts are a visual interpretation of the stitches that are written or that are used in a specific design or stitch pattern. And these stitch charts are usually drawn by the designer or by the who intended to give this information to the world. There are specific software, or not specific softwares, to use to make stitch charts. I personally use Adobe Illustrator because it was a software that I purchased a while ago, and I am using for different things or draws. But now there are different ways to make those charts, and one that I use it, a software that I use it for a long period of time, and it is free. It was Crochet Charts or software, I think this is how it's called. I will put the links into the description below if you want to check that out. But today is not necessarily about how to draw, how to make those stitch charts, but about how to read and how to use a stitch chart into your projects. And the first thing that you need to understand and you need to know are the symbols. There are specific symbols that are used into the crochet chart, and usually each symbol represents a stitch. Here is a picture like this with the most common symbols, with the most common stitches. And like a chain, a single crochet, double crochet, triple crochet, and a slip stitch. I think these are the most common. And now into the right you can see a few of the stitches that are also well known, but basically are combinations of the most common stitches. And if you're playing with these types of stitches and, I don't know, change them every round or every row, you can create a beautiful stitch patterns. And there are plenty of stitch patterns that are out there, and you can imagine that if you combine them in a different way, you can actually get with a new combination, a new stitch pattern that is beautiful and that you can use in your project. Now, what you need to know about a crochet chart is that it is written or draw in rows. Mostly you can find them in round for squares, for rounds, for etc., but the most common are in rows and columns. Basically, you have each row that you need to crochet, and each column will represent one stitch. It is written from right. When you read it, you need to read it from right to left for the first row, and if you are right-handed, and then the second row will be from left to right, right to left, left to right, and so on. And usually some specific designers incorporate also colors. If the project, the design includes changing the color every row or during a row, then they will represent in the rows in different colors, so you can realize where do you need to change the colors. So besides that, when you have everything, you need to practice. You need to take the crochet chart and try to recreate those stitches and recreate that specific stitch pattern using that sample. Most of the time, the crochet charts that you can find, and especially if you are talking about garments, you can see out there a lot of crochet charts that actually creates. If it's a tank top, it is shaped with all the decreases and everything you need to do. But usually for me as a designer, and because my patterns are written in multiple sizes, the specific decreases, for the example for the armhole, won't match every size. So that's why, in order not to make nine charts, different charts with every size, even if I did it, for example, for the front top, I did the shaping for each size in particular, but most often you will find a sample. So a small swatch of the stitch pattern that will be used into that specific design. So I will take one of the stitch patterns that I showed you over here, and actually we will start working. First of all, we will start working that sample as it is, with the number of stitches written in the chart, and then I will explain you how to figure out, because if it's not stitch by stitch and it's a combination of stitches with motifs or something like that with a certain pattern repeat, then you will need to find out with how many stitches do you need to start if you need a larger project than that specific sample. So I will show you how to do that. We will work together first the sample, and then we will try to calculate with how many stitches to start, and I will show you a trick to figure it out if that specific pattern is a multiple of 8 plus how many stitches. Because usually if you have a pattern repeat of 8 stitches, so this is the pattern repeat, for a flat sample, usually this will start with half of the motif or half of the start of the pattern repeat and finishing with half of the pattern repeat. And why is that? Because if you need to connect then two pieces, for example front and back, then here, having the half from the front and the half from the back, you will be able to have a continuity on your pattern, and it will look nice on edges as well. So because of that, if you count and we see that our pattern is by 8, maybe if you're starting with a multiple of 8, this won't match. So maybe you will need to add some extra stitches to adjust that half and half that is at the beginning and at the end of the row. And I will show you how to do that the easy way, because usually if I'm trying to figure out from after looking at the stitch pattern and then I'm starting to crochet, it's not matching. So I prefer to make it the easiest way, and then to figure out how many stitches I need to start, for example a multiple of 8 plus how many more. Another thing why I love the crochet charts is because it's make it easier for me to write the pattern after having, so the written pattern in words after having the stitch chart. And this is because I can see the repeats, because in a written pattern you have a certain asterisk, and then you need to repeat that to the end of the row. And to make sure that I'm writing the exact section that is repeating to the end of the row, this is how the stitch chart is helping me, because it's visual and I can see the repeated section right away. So let's get started. Let's go to my desk and let's follow a stitch chart and see how we can use a stitch chart to basically design something. What do you think? Okay, so this is the stitch chart that I chose for today. It's an old stitch chart that I drew, I think, in 2018. So if I will do it today again, I think I will do it differently. But I did wanted to use it for a project that I have in mind. So this is with what we are working today. So now, as I said in the previous video, we will follow this chart from bottom to top, and the first row, the right side row, will be followed from right to left, and the second row, the wrong side row, from left to right. Now the next thing I will need to look at is the repeated section. So we have here the repeated section, which, if I'm looking, is like from the single crochet, 1 chain, single crochet, 3 chain, 1 double crochet, and 3 chains again. And I'm counting the stitches below, and I can see that there are 8 stitches below, meaning on the foundation chain. So this pattern has a repeated section of 8 stitches. Now for my sample, I can count the stitches that I have in the stitch chart in the photo that I'm looking at, and I can start chaining for my gauge, for my sample. I can gauge swatch, I can start chaining the same number of stitches, and I will be sure in this way that I will be able to make my gauge swatch. But I will suggest to count the repeated section, and if you see that it's out of 8 stitches, then you know that you will need to chain, first of all, a multiple of 8. So we will start having this in mind, that we will need a multiple of 8 stitches, and as I said before, I will show you how we can adjust the number of stitches and see exactly if it is multiple of 8 plus how many stitches. So now let's start and work a swatch using this stitch pattern. We will follow this stitch pattern and see how it will look in the end. Okay, so as I said, I will start to chain a multiple of 8 stitches. And it's important to leave a long tail before, not so pretty long, but to have enough yarn as a tail before starting to chain. And this is because we will use that tail if we will need to add more stitches. So now we will start to chain a multiple of 8. I don't remember exactly, but this is not really important. I think I chained 32 stitches. So 4 times the motif, the repeated section. And now it will be easier at the beginning to use a stitch marker and mark that first stitch. So now if I'm looking at the stitch pattern starts with 6 chain. The first 3 chains will be the first double crochet. And then we have another 3 chains, that is the separating chain. Then I have to skip 2 stitches, and into the third I will work a single crochet, chain 1, skip 1 stitch, and another single crochet into the next. Now I have to work 3 chains, skip 2 stitches and a double crochet, and chain 3 and skip 2 stitches. And this is where the repeated section will start again, so from that first single crochet. So now I'm starting to repeat, so 1 single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, 1 single crochet, chain 3, skip 2 stitches, 1 double crochet, chain 3, skip 2 stitches, and we will start again. So let's repeat the section to the end of the row. Okay, and now I am at the end of the row. I need to chain 3 and finish the row with a double crochet. But because I chained only a multiple of 8, I can see that I will need 1 more stitch to complete the row. So this is what I noticed now after the first row with making this gauge swatch, that I will need this stitch pattern requires a multiple of 8 plus 1 stitch. So now I will untie the slip knot at the beginning, and I will insert the hook into that first chain stitch, and using the tail I will chain 2 extra stitches. The second one will just be like the slip knot again. So now I have here 1 more stitch that I can use to work my last stitch into it. So let's just finish with a double crochet into that stitch. Okay, so we completed the first round, and now if I'm looking on the chart, the second row will start with chain 4, and I do think that the first chain is as a stitch, as a single crochet, and then we will turn our work And the first stitch that we need to work is a double crochet, which is in the 1 chain space from the row below. Then chain 3, and then I need to make single crochet before the double crochet, chain 1, skip the double crochet and work another single crochet into the stitch after the double crochet. You can work the single crochet stitches into the chain stitches or below. And we will continue to repeat to the end of the row. Okay, we will chain 3, and my next stitch to work will be a single crochet, and I need to count the stitches and do it into the third chain from the beginning. So I'm counting the 3rd chain from the stitch marker, and now we will chain 6. First 3 chain as a double crochet, and the next 3 chain is from the pattern. And now single crochet before the double crochet, chain 1, single crochet after double crochet, chain 3, double crochet into the 1 chain space, chain 3, and we start to repeat. And we will finish this row with a double crochet into that first chain stitch from the previous row. So we need to make sure that we skip the separating chain from the pattern. And now we will repeat these 2 rows as much as possible until having a gauge swatch. And now I will show you how to use this gauge swatch and how to measure it and how to recreate a number of stitches that we will need for a t-shirt. So I will try to draw here the t-shirt, let's just say the front panel of a t-shirt, and this sketch is just to have where to write it down. So let's just say I want to make it as a polo t-shirt. And now the first thing that I will need is the width of my panel. So in order to find out with how many stitches to start, I will decide the width of my t-shirt, and let's just say that it will be 55 centimeters, and I will let the other things, the length and everything, for later, because we can measure that after starting to work on the panel. So now what I need to measure in this situation is a pattern repeat, and because the number of stitches are not equal with the
pattern repeat, so I cannot measure a double crochet swatch and think that 8 double crochet will count as 8 stitches on my pattern repeat. So I do have 8 stitches, which is 1 pattern repeat equals 4 centimeters from my measurements. And now I know that I want a width of 55 centimeters, and we will calculate how many stitches we will need. And I will need 220 stitches. But before starting with the 220 stitches, I need to check which number will be closer to 8 plus 1 stitches, because this is the multiple that I will need. And I will divide this number 220 by 8, and I will have a 27.5. And now we will calculate how it will be with 27 multiplied by 8 plus 1, and we will take the 28 as well. So I will have either 217 stitches or 225, and you will decide how many stitches you will start with. I chose the 225 and already started to work on my panel. So this is how you are using a stitch chart to design a t-shirt.
I hope that this tutorial was helpful. Yesterday I didn't have time to film the ending of that video because I left to pick up my daughter, and then we had a walk into the city center and yeah, then back home and usual stuff, family stuff, homework, dinner, whatever. I know that the stitch pattern is not looking similar with the crochet chart, or the crochet chart not with the stitch pattern, but this is because I was really at the beginning in drawing stitch charts. So if I will do it right now, I know that it will look better, but I hope that all the information will be useful there. And don't forget, if you have some questions about this topic, please leave them in the comments. If you see that I'm not reacting or something, then maybe it's better to send me an email, because with the comments I might miss it if it's something important for you. So I think I will end up the video here, because it's already too long and I don't want to make it even longer. Thank you so much for being here with me and join me into this new weekly journal. I'm pretty excited to finish the pattern and to be able to share new updates with you next week. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, and see you next time. Bye.